Okay, the meeting is being recorded for your information. So I might, okay, Divya, I'm going to ask you to take care of people who are joining. They are waiting in the waiting room. So if you can admit them on behalf of me, that would be great. Or let me know if I have to admit them. Okay. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So this is about Excelytics. This is about what Excelytics does, and this is about how Excelytics takes forward with their trainings and things. So what we would see is a brief introduction about myself. So my name is Ponshankar Palanivel, and I'm a Tableau and Alteryx certified expert. I've been working in the field of business intelligence and data analytics for more than 8 years now. So what I've been doing so far is I do a lot of work in terms of data preparation, data visualization, and stuff. Around this, I've solved a lot of business problems for different organizations. Most of these problems are termed as the business intelligence solutions for any problem that a business has. So these kinds of BI solution development is basically my core competence, and I'm pretty active on my LinkedIn profile. I do put in a lot of posts. Um, I do write a lot of articles. I also put a lot of YouTube videos on what exactly Tableau does, functionalities of Tableau, working sessions of Tableau, hands-on on Tableau, data science, prediction methodologies, recommendation systems, etc., and also some bit of automation. So I will share all these posts and knowledge materials in LinkedIn as well. So people who wanted to get connected with me and get updated in these lines, please connect me through LinkedIn. I am also pretty active on YouTube, wherein I put in a lot of knowledge content in terms of like Tableau, data science, and automation. So anyone who's looking for like free content out there, probably you can like subscribe to my YouTube channel or look into my YouTube channel and see the videos which I've done. And this is my professional Twitter handle, where also like I would be sharing updates on different machine learning things, Tableau visualization tactics, Power BI tactics, etc. So anyone who's interested, please get connected. For the convenience, I think I will just drop all these information in the chat window so that it would be easy for you guys to access it. And also I'm copy pasting Excelytics email and contact details. You can have it handy if you wanted to communicate with them. You can use this. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Okay. You should have it now. Okay. So what we would do is I just need to like update you guys on what are the terms for the participation certificate. I think Excelytics have rolled out certain rules on what exactly you need to do, or the terms and conditions for the participation certificate. So the first thing is you will have to attend the full session. So I will make it as interactive as possible. I'm sorry, not interactive, obviously, because of the way we are meeting today. But then at least I will make sure like we have regular gaps where you can ask your questions and I can give the answers for it. And we have a lot of working sessions in the second half. So I hope that I could make this interesting for you to attend the full session. So then I think you guys need to give a feedback, and links would be shared to you during this session for the feedback. And the certification that would be provided to you would be a e-certification, and that would be sent out to you through email. Okay. So if you have any doubts or further questions in this matter, you can contact this particular number for more details, and I think they would help you out. Just to show you guys how the sample of a certification, this is how it is going to look, with obviously your name in the middle. So if you are good here, I just wanted to walk you guys through the agenda. And I know like a lot of new people have joined after we spoke in the previous 5 minutes. So just wanted to show this agenda, give a brief description on what exactly we are going to discuss in today's session and take it forward from there. So the first thing is we will be looking into an introduction to business intelligence. The reason why we are looking at business intelligence in a Tableau session, it is because Tableau is a tool, right? So for Tableau to be successfully integrated or for Tableau to be successfully used by any individual, it's very important to understand what exactly is the business environment where Tableau would be used. So that business environment is the business intelligence which we would be talking about. And data visualization, because yeah, business intelligence is a huge domain where a lot of data, a lot of tools, a lot of platforms comes into picture. What exactly a tool like Tableau, which is specialized in data visualization, can achieve here, right? So that's what we are going to see in the importance of data visualization. And then we would see why Tableau. There are a lot of visualization tools and BI tools out there, right? So one great thing is like we have Power BI, we have ThoughtSpot, we have sub products in it. We have a lot of products which is coming in newly also. So why exactly Tableau, right? And then we will look into a brief introduction of Tableau, and then we will understand Excel versus Tableau. So in most of the organizations which you guys have seen the job description or you guys have worked, right? So in most of the cases, what is happening is an Excel environment or a team that is totally handling Excel kind of reporting is transitioning into a dashboard or a Tableau kind of reporting. So why exactly it is and what is the difference you can expect between Excel versus Tableau? So that is what we would be discussing in this session. And then we will get started with Tableau. We will create our first visualization hands-on, and then we will look into Tableau certification, which is very important. When I tell certification, it is not the it's the official certification from Tableau, which is there are a bit of things that we need to understand for getting certified through Tableau. So let's go through that in the last session. Okay. So housekeeping, we will first go through a bit of topic discussion and then we will go into the practical sessions. And there would be 2-minute query time intervals because right now audio is not enabled. I'm forced to mute you all guys because of the number of number of participants in this workshop. So in this 2 minutes query time, I can open it up after each session and you can drop in all the questions which you have in the chat window, and I would try to answer your questions the very best I can. Okay, so then we will have 1 10-minute break in the middle. So probably we can refresh ourselves and then come back. And then for the links for all the resources would be shared in the chats, like what I've done with respect to my contact details and Excelytics contacts. All the other resources or the materials that would be used in the practical session, also I will be sharing in the chats. And also I think after the session is done, Divya, who's like in the call, helping me to run through the session, would be getting in touch with you guys with the recorded session and resources. So moving forward, before even we jump into the course, I know like after this workshop is done, there is a full-fledged Tableau training that we would be doing. And then Excelytics is offering a 20% off for the first 10 enrollments. So just wanted to put this across before we move into the actual session. So now we are going to look into the introduction of business intelligence. So let's understand what is business intelligence first. So what is business intelligence? Before we go into the technicalities of that, I just wanted to give you guys a real-time example of what we can relate as a business intelligence. So mm, think about a time when we wanted to go out to buy something. Uh, think about what you would experience when you go to a kirana shop and what you would experience when you go to a supermarket, right? So when we go to a kirana shop, typically what happens is there would be a person who's standing in the shop, and whichever item or the product which we wanted, we just need to tell him, and he will take the product and he will give it to us. So if we are the only ones, that then that's fine. If there are like 4 or 5 different persons. Okay, excuse me, guys. The term business intelligence refers to technology is awesome. So, someone has already nailed the definition of business intelligence. But what I'm trying to say is, see, bookish definitions are all good, right? But the point when we would be able to relate it more is when we relate it to the real life, right? So that's what I'm trying to just give you an example. So what typically happens in the kirana shop is, continuing the story, y- if there are like 5 or 10 different people, right? So you will have to wait for your turn, and the product which you get, he might not have understood it properly, so he would give a different product, and you will have to again ask, oh no, this is not what I'm looking for, I'm looking for a different thing. So this is one setup. The second setup is, think about the supermarket. So supermarkets are designed to not have any executives, even though we have some executives. It is designed for the person to come in and take anything he wants without anyone's help. So how supermarket is arranged is, when you go in, you will be able to understand with common sense where exactly the products are. There will be notifications, there will be letters written that would help you go to the desired area, right? And then you go to the milk products session, you will have milk, curd, everything that is related to the dairy products at one place, so that you can easily take whatever you want. So a supermarket is typically a business intelligence solution. What you would expect out of a supermarket is a business, what you could expect out of a business intelligence solution. What you get out of a kirana shop is what you will expect out of a system that does not have business intelligence. How do we relate this? Let me put it in this way. Think about a manager who's an analytics manager, and he wants to prepare a top level presentation for his top level management. So when we are presenting an analysis for the management, obviously it would include more than 3 or 4 different functions, right? So if we are presenting something to the top management, obviously there would be data that is required from sales, the data that would be required from finance, from HR, and so on. So think about the scenario where um, your manager does not have a business intelligence solution. So in that case, what typically happens, right? Each function, finance, sales, HR, each function will have an MIS executive who usually maintains all the records of the files in his own desktop. Then the manager needs to go and talk to each MIS executive, which is similar to a Kirana shop environment. The person will give the manager data separately. Finance will give him one data. HRMIS executive would give him one data. And then all this data, 4 different data, needs to be consolidated together. And then on top of that, analysis needs to be done. There's nothing wrong in this. But think about this. When your top management is asking you to give you a solution, or give them data, they wanted to understand the data to make a decision today. If you go to different MIS executives, consolidate that, they take their own SLA or time, right? So give them the data, and then you build on top of it. It's not going to happen as soon as you really want it, right? So, and it is complicated. But what exactly a business intelligence solution would give you is, it would give you the right permissions and right access to extract the data yourself and do your own analysis, just like a supermarket. You just know like where the data is, what you need to do to get the data, and then you get the data and you can start doing your analysis without anyone's dependency. So I think like I've told the story longer than required, but then I think purpose of it is like bring an understanding of what exactly the business intelligence is to people who haven't been in this particular space. So having said this, business intelligence has a typical technical explanation, just like what our guy, Mr. Ali, he has dropped it into the chat window. So, business intelligence is a combination of processes, architectures, and technologies. Why do we say this? We say processes because a process is something that involves both a person and a technology, right? So business intelligence is not only a system, but it's a combination of a system and resources, right? So it's a combination of system and everything. Architecture for business intelligence is not only about Tableau. It is about how data is there in your source and how you can extract it, make it ready for analysis, data preparation. Everything comes into business intelligence platform. So for these things to be done, a proper platform and architecture is required. So that's why we say like it's a set of processes, architectures, and technologies. And the other thing is the purpose of performing this business intelligence is to convert raw data to a meaningful information, right? And to be reliable and useful information, as I said, access permissions, right data for the right person. So these are the things that ideally needs to be addressed in a business intelligence solution. So the right people at the right time means what exactly we saw in the previous example, right? So the previous example, time is very important in making any kind of decision in your organization. If you're not able to get the data at the right time, then it is probably a meaningless data, right? So it helps in decision making. And what exactly you see here is a typical life cycle of how business organizations have been uh, proceeding in the form of business intelligence. So typically there are four different stages. One, the first stage is descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics, nothing but we would be able to, once the BI system is in place in your organization, we will always be able to just look at what had happened, right? We will be able to just look at the historical behaviors. So that is called descriptive analytics. If your organization is just focusing on what happened in the history and showing trends to the management, so then it is just descriptive analytics. Diagnostic analytics is, let's say, you see a dip in the previous quarter of sales. If you're able to understand why exactly there was a dip in the sales, then that is called diagnostic analytics, right? And predictive analytics, I think most of you guys would have known because of its popularity. Uh, what will happen? Can we predict it? If we are able to predict it, then that is called predictive analytics. Prescriptive analytics is a advanced and an interesting topic. Prescriptive analytics is, let's say, our your company CEO, he comes to you and he says like, okay, sales has been increasing 25% year on year. My target is to increase sales by 75% next year, right? So if he just comes up with a goal like that, if we can suggest or recommend, if a system can suggest or recommend what exactly we need to do to get to that number, that is called prescriptive analytics. It is the most advanced stage in business and business intelligence, and a lot of companies are not in that particular area yet. But the purpose is to start from the descriptive analytics and to go towards the prescriptive analytics. Okay. Now we will just see a BI system in practice. We were talking about the business intelligence solution, comparing it with the real life scenario like a kirana shop or a supermarket, how exactly we can expect it to work. And then we looked into the business intelligence components. We understood like what are some of the concepts that is technically what it is supposed to be. And then now what we will do is a practical scenario of what exactly the BI system looks like. So if you just look at this is what our BI system would look like. I think Mr. Ali, who was like uh, pinging in the chat about the description of BI analytics, is probably like this could be an answer to you in a practical scenario. So what typically happens is, this is how a system or a BI platform is laid out. You will have a user, and the user would enter the data in a particular system, right? So that is what we see from our front end. So what exactly happens after data is into the system? So once the data is into the system, what typically it will happen is, there is a process of collecting these data, right? So the collection of data can happen in a lot of different ways. It can happen in a database which your company is having, or it can happen in a cloud database, or it can happen in Hadoop kind of environments, right? So all these environments are platforms that can help you to collect the data and get that stored. Okay. Now, what you see in this particular collect is a raw data. So this raw data cannot be used as such. So this raw data would be going through a process called ETL, which is extract, transform, and load. So the purpose of this ETL is to prepare the data for analysis. Okay. So once that is done, the data is deposited into the warehouses or IT data marts which you guys have. So from this is where data is exposed out to any kind of analysis. And analyze is is the place where Tableau or Power BI or any BI or data visualization tool comes into picture. So in Tableau or in any other BI tool, analyze is the phase where it's used majorly. So the data that is out in the warehouse, it would be connected from Tableau, and analysis would be done, right? And then it is distributed to the users based as a report, based as dashboards, or based at even we have a lot of chatbots very recently, which kinds of like, when you ask a question to the chatbot, it gives you the details of the data. Okay. And all these things are being done for decision making. So that's exactly what this diagram represents. So if a diagram like this, it gives an end-to-end understanding of what exactly you can expect in a BI environment. And why is this important? So typically, let's say you guys learn Tableau, and typically you go into an organization, or in the present organization, you have been given a Tableau tool to develop dashboards, to do things that you need to do, right? It is very, very important for you to understand where exactly Tableau falls into this architecture, because based on that only your conversation to different stakeholders would be triggered. You will have to understand where exactly to whom you should be talking if there is a data that you wanted to access, but it is not there in the warehouse, right? So that's the purpose of this diagram. So let's quickly look into what data visualization is. So we looked into BI and we got a pretty good understanding of what exactly a business intelligence solution is. Now let's look into the data visualization. So what is data visualization? So look into this. What has been happening very recently is, back before decades of times, it was a major challenge to collect data and store it in a platform. But today, the storing capacity has become very cheap. Hadoop, for example, if you think about the storage capacities of Hadoop, it is huge, and increasing the storage capacity in Hadoop, it's not at all costly, right? So what is happening is, we have abundance of resources to store data. So there are a lot of data that is stored. So what exactly it has resulted is, it has resulted in an information overload, right? So think about this. So i- any shop, or any textile shop, anywhere we go to take a t-shirt or shirt, or any garment, right? If the collections are very less, and if 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 what we are looking for is very limited in terms of like choices we have, it's one challenge to not have a collection and get satisfied with what it's already there, and it's another challenge if textile is like without organized in an unorganized way, clothes and garments are like filled up, right? Even in that case, no one would be having that particular complexity to go in and get something which we really want, right? So that's exactly what is happening in the information overload. So this is a big data world. Anything that you have, videos, audios, text, everything that can be saved in a particular database, and a lot of data is getting stored. There is no limitation on storage. So when this is the case, what becomes a challenge is, let's say I'm a major organization. I've invested a lot of money into Hadoop, and I've stored all the data. Fine. How am I going to make sense of data? My purpose of storing data is to make sense of data, right? So if it is a big data world and there are a lot of data mining becomes a major issue, right? So it wouldn't be easy to someone to just access the data that is out there, because huge volumes of data in different structures, it requires data mining capabilities like Python, Scala, and all those languages would be required for anyone to just look at it, right? This demands technical skill set. So ideally, no one should be using technical skill sets just to extract or mine data, right? Our focus should be on designing information rather than extracting it. So that is the reason why data visualization tools are becoming very famous. Seeing getting a tool that can access the information without requiring the technical skill set. Okay. Okay, I just got a intimation saying my internet connection is having some issue. Guys, can you let me know if I'm audible? Guys, can you ping in the chat window? Am I audible? Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's look at the benefits of data visualization. What I wanted to show you guys is basically external website. The reason I'm going to show you this is understand how exactly data visualization could be useful. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, okay. So let me explain what this visualization is. So this visualization is a timeline of media inflated fears. So what is media inflated fears? So think about everything that has happened in this world for the past like a few decades. So there is one thing where there is really a fear that is required, and the second thing is media inflated fears. You would hear about the news a lot of times in the media, and that in itself is inflated the level of fear that has been identified, right? So all these graphs, what you see here, are media inflated fears. So if you just scroll down, it is from 2000 to 2018. All these symbols are different fears that has been majorly caused by media's hype. So you can look at this spike, which is 2014 to 15. You can see a consistent red fear, which is here, which is throughout the past like 20 years, from 2000 to 2018. 18, 19 years. So let's understand what are these things. So if you just look at the biggest spike, which is between 2014 and 15, if you just click on this, you'll be able to see this is a fear that was because of the Ebola pandemic, right? So this visualization, it kind of gives a good idea about what exactly is the plus side of it and the negative side of it. Okay, And if you just look at this red color pattern, which has been seen throughout the year, if you just click on it, you would be able to see it's a battle that was against this violent video games. So what happened is, uh, in countries where a lot of shooting was happening, right? A lot of debate and a lot of versions of perspectives were there, where a lot of people blamed video games or aggressive video games for the effect, right? So what you see here is something that is related to that. So what you see here is fears that has been on violent video games, which has been the cause for a lot of distress that different countries have faced. Okay, and then let's look at what is the blue color here, right? If you just click on this, these are killer wasps. Yeah, it might sound as big funny, but based on the different media newses, this is also something that has inflated the fear that it is supposed to be. So a lot of things are there, and if you quite frankly see, like, these are the different things, right? Bird flu, which is the yellow color here, like asteroids. We get hit by an asteroid and the world ends. So those are these fears. So it's an interesting visualization to look at. I probably, like, once this is shared, you guys can take a deeper look at it. But the reason why I'm showing this in the visualization is, if you just look at that particular visualization, what exactly we are able to see is, over the period of 18 to 19 years, a lot of news would have come, right? Right from a simple news that doesn't even require much publicity, to a news which requires definitive attention. There would have been a lot of newses. So think about how difficult it is, or how humanly impossible it is to focus the news that needs to be taken action, right? Through this visualization, what we have seen is, we have filtered out all the news which doesn't fit in our pattern. Our pattern is media inflated fear. So we were able to take off all the other information that is not required, and we just focused on what is required, right? And then when we look at what is required, it gives a very good pattern of what exactly the world has shown us, or the media has shown us, right? So what it enables us to do is to get the bigger picture. That's exactly what you saw on the dashboard. So that is the role of business intelligence, right? So a business intelligence capability to collect the data and organize it is to use the data in things like this, so that we can easily understand the pattern and do something about it, right? It's not just understanding the pattern, it's also about um, performing and decision after that, right? So I think a lot of people have joined, guys. I know, like, you guys have questions, but please hold on for a moment. We have um, breaks in between for the questions given the number of participants. So please hold on to your questions. I will just open it up for the questions in a while, and then put in all your questions in the chat window, and I will be more than happy to help you guys out. Okay. So yeah, behind the scene pattern recognition is all what we discussed based on the visualization which we just saw. Okay, now we will look into why Tableau. We looked into business intelligence, we looked into data visualization. Now we will understand why Tableau, because there are a lot of tools out there, right? There are a lot of tools that like Power BI and ThoughtSpot, even Looker. There is a tool which is, like, quite famously used for data visualization. And why Tableau? These are some of the tools which you guys would be who can look at, right? Tipco products, ClickSense, etc. So what you see here on the right hand side is magic quadrant from Gartner. Okay, before going into the magic quadrant, what exactly Gartner is? So Gartner is an independent consulting firm which does a lot of research work on all the different tools that is out there in the market, business intelligence, data analytics, data governance. They do a lot of research into this. It's a very recognized organization, and what they do is they assess these capabilities, and then they give a note about who's the leader, challenges, and visionaries. So if you just to look at the leaders, Tableau and the Microsoft Power BI are the leaders in this field. And though these two guys have been, one has been going up and the other has been going down, and it changes after a while. These two tools are the leaders in this particular industry, and that is where the direction is. So that is exactly why Tableau as well as Power BI is being used in different organizations. If you just look at if you just registered for a job role in Tableau or data visualization in a Naukri, you can see like 50 percentage of the job roles or the job opportunities which you get is out in Power BI and Tableau. Okay, so other than this, what exactly is the reason for many organizations to adopt Tableau? So Tableau as a BI tool is very scalable, meaning if a company is small, if they have a very small BI team, Tableau is a solution for them as well. And if a company is very big and a lot of work, a lot of resources is required, Tableau is useful there as well. And it is very good in handling large volumes of data. It is excellent in the execution speeds, abilities. It has been constantly evolving, and the growth rate is like phenomenal. Okay, so that's a company's perspective. From an analyst perspective or from our perspective, what exactly we can look for? We can look for better career opportunities. We can look for a very good learning curve. There is a very active community that is out there in Tableau, which can be leveraged for all our knowledge source, and it's fun to work. Right, the reason I'm saying fun to work is Tableau takes away a lot of dirty data related hands-on things which we do, which gives us the ability to do a lot of work in terms of analysis, which actually we like, right? So I just wanted to show you guys what's the demand for Tableau schools. This is not to like advertise or like um, bring a perspective that is not there. This is a code that is not out by me or Excelytics. This is a code that has been given by a very famous solution provider. So, what exactly they say is, apart from the fact that there is an excellent demand for Tableau developers, the pay package is higher as compared to that of other job profiles. A Tableau developer's salary in India is on the rise, and experienced developers are earning as much as INR 15 lakh and more annually. So, this is a code that was released by online service provider. So, as you can relate it, right? So there is both low level, mid level, and high level salaries or incomes for the Tableau skills. So based on this, you guys can make your own judgments in terms of what would be the minimum, middlemost, and the average value. Okay, so let me. This is just to give you guys an idea about what you can expect. So I'm just opening this up to a couple of minutes question time. Anyone who had any doubts or questions, I think now was the time for you guys to like put it into the chat window, and I would like read through it and give an answer to it. So which Tableau skill used for these graphs or data visualization? Okay, the graph which I showed Chandra, that is that's a web page development. So that's not a Tableau development. The reason I showed you that is to give you the concept of data visualization. So we are yet to go into the Tableau data skills, right? Um, any questions, guys? Please drop it into the chat window. I will give a couple of minutes break. Like in Power BI, In Tableau, there will be an ETL process. So first of all, in Power BI, what you do is not a ETL process. In Power BI, what you do is a data preparation. So similarly, you have something in Tableau as well. So like what you mean to say is Pravalika, the joins which you make in Power BI, the data manipulations which you make in Power BI, right? Similar environment is there in Tableau as well. Revant, do we need to know SQL to learn Tableau? Well, not exactly. So the purpose of a tool like Tableau is to take away the technical dependency, right? So you don't need to know SQL to learn Tableau, but if you know SQL, even the basics of SQL, basically like what joins are, etc. and all, it would be very beneficial in understanding the advanced concepts of Tableau. Okay, hope that answers your question. With Tableau itself, can one get job role? Satya, it's uh, if you ask me, can anyone get job with Tableau alone? My answer is yes. But how soon you can get, that depends, right? So the reason I say so is if you learn Tableau and if you're good in Tableau visualization, there are a lot of roles that is there like Tableau developers, etc. Right? But once if you know something like date, so see, Tableau is a tool. So if you just stick on to Tableau, it's good, you will get a job. But then for you to move on from there, you need to understand the concepts of data visualization and business intelligence. So what I mean to say is, Satya, with Tableau, you can definitely get a job. I've seen a lot of people, even I've hired few people who had only Tableau skills. So you can definitely get it. Is Alteryx similar to Tableau? Alteryx is different, a little different to Tableau, Akash, because Tableau's strength is on data visualization and a bit of data preparation, but Alteryx strength is totally on data preparation. How you would manipulate your data, do transformations. So that's exactly Alteryx, strength of Alteryx. How does Tableau or any data visualization tool provide an edge over Python or data visualization libraries? Okay, Hashid, good question. So, Hashid, the major answer here would be the technical skill set, right? There are a lot of Python tools like Matplotlib library, which you can use for data visualization. You and in fact, like there are a lot of specific Python libraries which concentrates only on data visualization. But for all those things to be used, right, you need something. You need a bit of technical skill in Python. You need to understand the libraries. You can understand. You should have to understand the concepts of Python to do anything related to that kind of data visualization. But in Tableau, what the focus is for any business user, if they wanted to scale up to a power user, Tableau can be easily learned. Okay, hope that answers your question. Mm, some advantages of Tableau over Power BI. So first of all, I wouldn't recommend you guys to like compare Tableau and Power BI. The reason I say so is each has different strengths. In Tableau, for example, the data visualization area is too compelling. At the same time, in Power BI, the initial data preparation, the advantages of data preparation is overwhelming. Okay, and in Tableau, the richness of the visualization is great. In Power BI, visualization is not that great, but the data preparation components are superb. And then the cost of Tableau is high from an organization perspective. Cost of Power BI is much lesser than Tableau from an organization perspective. So there are different pros and cons. So and basically choosing Tableau and Power BI is based on an organization's strategy rather than it's not for an analyst to decide like which we wanted to learn. I think I probably would recommend you to learn one tool and know the basics of the other two. Is this session enough to learn Tableau or we have to learn more? So this session is basically a workshop, Kranti. So what we would be doing is we will do hands-on and understanding. comparing Tableau with Excel, we will understand, we will create visualization in Tableau, and then we will look into certifications. And then I'm sorry, I think for the person who spoke about Tableau developer, with Tableau, can you get a job? Yeah, you can. It would be very, very compelling and easy if you can get a certification. Learn Tableau and get a certification, then it's much, much easier to get a job at the initial stages itself. So this session would give you a basic Kranti, but then we have a comprehensive training session. I think it's for like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, which is planned after this. So if you really wanted to know Tableau end to end, I think I would recommend you to take that session. Does this course include concepts of publishing the data on Tableau server once a dashboard is prepared? So Sashi, Tableau server is an enterprise environment. So what we would be doing here is we would be using something called Tableau public server, right? So the visualization which is being developed in the class, we can publish it into the Tableau public server and we can use it from there. But it wouldn't be very similar to the Tableau's enterprise server because it's a company organized, but it's not too difficult also for you to scale up from there. Is there any certification course for Tableau? What are there? Okay, so certification in Tableau is handled separately. So I think like there are three levels of certification. One is $100 cost, and the second thing is $250 or $260, something like that. So what the best way to for you to get certification in Tableau is get trained, practice it for a while, and then go for the exam. Because like I have written those exams and I've got myself certified. Believe me, like once you learn it, and if you don't have enough practice, it's not easy to clear it. Uh, are you going to teach complete Tableau or its part? Uh, so Tableau is an Shafiq. Tableau, as any tool, has a lot of different things. So the purpose of the actual training, which would be following this workshop, would be the training content is designed in such a way that if you follow the training content and if you practice it, you can clear the level of certification that is there. So there are the major focus on all is on the first two level of certifications. The contents are prepared based on the first two level of certification. So if you learn, if you practice enough, you should be able to clear the first two level of certifications easily. The third level of certification is completely an expertized certification. So that is probably something which you will have to consider if you are really wanted to go totally into Tableau. Okay. What are the different Tableau products? We will look into it in the next coming slides, Samshir. Hi, sir. I'm presently working in finance industry. If I learn Tableau, there is any chance to get job in Tableau because my experience is you can. So I think the finance with Tableau combination is something which a lot of us has seen work, right? So that's a nice combination because the business knowledge of finance and then the Tableau skills is a killer combination. So yes, definitely it is. Look into this. Okay, now let's jump into the session back. Okay, um, let's move on. Let's get an understanding of Tableau. So Tableau, as what the company says, can help anyone see and understand their data, connect to almost any database, drag and drop to create visualization, and share with a click. So in a nutshell, what Tableau says about its own product is that it's a simple product for anyone to just create a visualization and look into the data. It's a simple product. But why exactly the training and other stuff come into picture is a tool like Tableau is designed for two purposes. One is for anyone to just learn quickly and create basic visualization. And the other is for expert users who wanted to create really groundbreaking visualizations that can change the way a business runs, right? So what we are trying to learn as Tableau in this particular workshop and in the forthcoming training is the ability of us to use Tableau to use the maximum of it and to give the business a strength that is required to make its own decisions work. Okay, so These are the different products we have in Tableau. We have Tableau Desktop, we have Tableau Server, we have Tableau Online, we have Tableau Prep. Let me quickly brief like what are these different tools. Tableau Desktop is typically the tool that you would be using, you would be downloading into your desktop, and then you would be building visualizations. Okay, and then once the visualizations are developed in desktop, you would be publishing the visualization into the server, which can be used for sharing it with the other users. Okay, and then these two are the major things, which is the Tableau Desktop and the Tableau Server. So there are two versions in the desktop. There is an enterprise version, which is the professional version, and there is a public version, which is a free version. Similarly, Tableau Server also has an enterprise version, which is typically run by your organization, and there is a public version, which is free to use, but you won't be able to um, apply privacy settings on top of it. Okay. Tableau Online. Tableau Online is just a glorified version of Tableau Server. The only thing is Tableau Server, just like your Microsoft SQL Server or any other server, it needs to be maintained by the organization. But Tableau Online does not require any maintenance. It's totally on cloud, and all you just need to do is subscribe to Tableau, and everything would be set up by Tableau itself. Tableau Prep is a new tool that Tableau is evolving into. So someone asked about Alteryx, right? So Tableau Prep is very much related to Alteryx. Actually, if I may say, it is like an inspiration from Matrix. Okay. So what we would be using in this particular session and in the trainings as well would be Tableau Public. It's a free version, but there are certain limitations in it. Like you cannot save what you create in Tableau Public into your local files. You will have to publish it into the public environment, and you can access it from there, right? The only thing is you won't have a local copy. And Tableau Public offers connectivity to limited sources. It doesn't offer connectivity to your Microsoft SQL servers and stuff. And then there are some row limits, but ideally a Tableau Public is more than enough for anyone to get expertised with the tool and to appear for the certification. Okay, so that is about introduction to Tableau. So now let's do a small activity. So what we would like to understand is, we would like to understand what is Excel versus Tableau, right? So let's do this practical example. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to download population data from World Bank website, and we are just going to clean the data and see how exactly it's working in Excel and how it works in Tableau. Okay, so now all you guys need to do is, I'm just going to show you guys, and then probably once you get the recorded session and these instructions, you can probably watch the video and then you can try to replicate what I'm doing, right? But what you would be doing is, once you click on this, it will take you to the population data in the World Bank website, and all you need to do is just click on Excel, right? You can download the Excel. Right now I'm not doing it because I've already downloaded it. If you just press on keep, the data would be downloaded. Okay, now I've already downloaded the data, so let's open the data. So when you open government data, this is how it looks, right? It has metadata indicators, countries. These are things we don't want. I'm interested in the data. So if you look at this, this is how a typical Excel data from a government website looks like. Now this is good, but if you just look at this, right, Excel is always designed to use the way humans intend to learn, right? For example, country name is here and years are here, right? So this is easy for me to just learn through it one by one. But when you are in a system, when you are in a when you're using this data in a system, ideally what you would want is you would want a column called year that has all the years in the column as rows, and then you want the population to be in a separate column. Only if you have something, just like how you will make the data ready for the pivot tables in Excel. In a pivot table, if you want to consume this data into a pivot table, and if you want to compare between years, what you will do is you will create a column here as year. You will copy 1960, 1961 for each of the countries and their respective populations, and then you will stack down similarly for all the other countries, right? So let's see how we can uh, clean this data to make it ready for analysis. So first, what we will do in Excel, we will just click on these two. We don't want this. We will just delete it, right? And then what we do, we will, I want this to be changed, right? I want this to be pivoted. So instead of doing that manually, what we can do is we can go to data. We can click on from table range, right? I'm just selecting this whole range, give OK. Once we do this, a Power Query editor will open, right? So this is how the data is right now. What I'm doing is country name is good, country code is good, indicator name is good, indicator code is good. Except these, I want all the other columns 1960 to 2019 to be converted into a pivot. I want these columns to be represented as two columns, one column with year and the other column with population. So what I will do is I will right click, I will go here, unpivot other columns. If I select on this, you can see the data is in the way we wanted. For the countries, different years and their respective population is coming out, right? Now, let me rename this. Let's say this is year and let's say this is population. Okay, let's close and save it. Now the data is in the format we wanted, right? Let's say if we wanted to create graphs on top of it, what we will do, we will just select this, we will go to insert, pivot table, press OK, and then let's say year, let me put it in filter, country name and population, right? I can select on the year, select 2019. So these populations of one particular year, and then I think we can even sort it, more sort option, descending, sum of population, right? So this kind of changes into an ascending or descending order. So after this, if you guys wanted to create a graph, right, you will have to structure based on the graph the data, and then you would be creating the graph, right? So I think this is pretty much clear, right? After this, you will just select the data based on what you wanted to represent, and you will go here and you will put in a graph. So let's see how the same thing can be done in Tableau. Let's close this. I'm just giving don't save, right? I'm opening Tableau Public. I will walk you through, guys, what each one of this, what each one of the Tableau components are. But before that, let me show you what exactly you can think of as a difference between these two, Excel and Tableau. So when you open, there is a window that opens up and there is an option to connect to Microsoft Excel here. I'm just clicking on Microsoft Excel and selecting the file which we used, right? If you see, the connection is the file name which we connected, and then you can see the sheets, in the internal sheets listed out. Data is the sheet where where our data is there. So you can just validate it by just selecting on this view data capability. Select on view data, and you should be able to see this data, right? This is the data which we have. So close it, double click on this, and you would be able to see an area where you can join, do data manipulations, and there would be an area where a sample of the data is represented. If you just look at this, right, the data is not in the format we wanted because of the data, the structure of the data we downloaded. Column names are having as F1, F2, F3, F4, which is not right. You can see the headers here in the third line, and there are data source information which is right here, which we don't want. So all I am doing here is, you see this use data interpreter, right? I'm just going to click use data interpreter. So what happens here is, when you do that, Tableau automatically cleans this. You're able to see the data in the way you want it, right? Header is cleaned, all the information about the worksheets are cleaned, and everything. And even what you can do is you can review the results, because use this with caution. Though Tableau is trying to replicate what a human thinks would be important, it's still a system, right? There are possibilities of error that could happen. There are possibilities of things that is ignored that we don't want to ignore. So you can just review the result, select on this, and you would see a Excel that is opening. So what exactly is given here is, you can see the keys, data as interpreters, column filter. It will give indications in terms of what is ignored and what is considered header. So this color, it says it is considering this as header. It says all the green color it is considering as data. And even here you can see till this point data is removed, which is these two, right? You can use this to review it. Based on that, you can remove the changes. All you need to do is take that off or use data changes, right? I'm going to use the changes because it has pretty much cleaned and it has done what we wanted to do. Now what I'm going to do is, I wanted to convert these things into pivot. So similar to that, I will just click on this. I will drag till here, and then I will click on this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just click on this, control. Sorry guys, I think it's shift. Okay, press on shift, and I'm selecting all the years from 1960 to 2019. So all I wanted to do is right click here, pivot. Now the data has changed in the way we wanted. I'm just double clicking on this, giving year. I'm just double clicking on this, giving population. So till this point, right, though there are advantages that Tableau offers in terms of this data interpreter term, most of the things has been similar. But what exactly is the differences here? Let's say we wanted to create some visualizations here, right? We don't need to structure each and every visualization based on the data, right? All we can do is we can just click on country name, click on population, select it into a density map showing highest population, change colors, right? Or change this into a map, right? And we can add filters like what we did. We can bring in the country. Okay, filter won't make sense because this is a map. I'm sorry about that. But we can filter year. We can bring in year. We can say, okay, I will just focus on 2019, press OK. Data would be shown for 2019, right? So what we can develop simple graphs as well. So let's say like let's say we wanted to create a trend graph. Let's double click on here. Let's double click on population, right? And then let's say trend for a particular country name. So drop the country name into the filter and let's say India, right? I'm selecting on India, giving OK. All I will need to do is go to show me, select on, okay, 1 second. Since year is represented in text, what I will do is I will just put it into columns and then I will change this into line. I will go here, change it into a bar. Okay. And now if I shift this, you can see it in bar. You can change this bar into a line. You can change this into an area chart, and you can do whatever you wanted, right? So the purpose of the reason I'm doing this is to understand what exactly Tableau offers in terms of the visualization. The other thing is, think about when you hover over it, you can control a lot of things and a lot of data can be consumed through Tableau. I can hover over my map and I can see data of country, population, and different aspects of it, right? So let's go back to our presentation. Let's summarize what we actually learned, right? So when we compare Excel versus Tableau, what exactly we are seeing when we think about data discovery, in Excel, for us to make a data discovery, we need to be very sure about what the columns we are working with, how the data needs to be structured in the Excel file, and how different things needs to be aligned with one another, right? But in Tableau, though we did the data preparation as usual, when it comes to understanding or identifying the pattern in Tableau, it doesn't require a lot of preparation. It is ready made for any kind of data discovery that we wanted to make, right? And then automation. So right now in this particular example, we did not cover a lot into how automated it is. But then if you think about it, an Excel compared to Excel, Tableau is created for automation, right? When you make a connection to the data source and when you publish the Tableau dashboard into a server or anywhere, it is bound to be automated end to end. Okay. And then visualization. So the richness of the visualization and the flexibility of it. If you just think about how the visualization would be in our Excel and Tableau, there is a strict difference between how the visualizations are being projected, right? It's eye-catchy. It provides a lot of insights. It provides us a lot of flexibility. It saves the time in creating visualizations, which is very, very important for us to understand a pattern, right? So that's exactly what I wanted to cover in terms of the questions in terms of Excel and Tableau. Any questions, doubts on the working examples which we saw or on the concept, we can probably discuss, open it up for question time for 2 minutes, and then we will go on a 10-minute refreshment break. After we come back, we will create a Tableau visualization from the scratch where I will show you what exactly you require to create your first visualization in Tableau, and then we will look into Tableau certification. Okay, I'll just open it for a couple of minutes and then we can go for a 10-minute break. Any questions you guys have, just drop it into the chat window, or or you can take a break and we can meet at 10:30. So any questions, please drop and I will be available here for 2 more minutes to answer. And I really hope this kind of helped you guys understand the difference between Excel and Tableau. What to Power Query Editor is not available for everyone in Excel. So Harshit, the answer is like what we spoke when we were doing it. If Power Query editor is not available, then the typical approach is it's a manual approach wherein the data needs to be copy pasted one below the other, right? Typically, how we used to do in the initial Excel days, you take one country, you copy paste all the year, you copy paste all the population, repeat the country, and then you go to the next country one below the other. So that's typically the approach, unfortunately. Ali, this session is awesome. Thank you very much. Got it. Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, guys who don't have any question, please come back to this call at 10:30 because like we would be discussing the actual agenda after this break, wherein we would create our first visualization, and I will give you a detailed overview of Tableau. I will give you the components on Tableau, and then we will look into data Tableau certification. So don't miss out on the second half of the session. Please be here. Can the visualized data be changed to Excel and vice versa? Visualized data. Can the visualized data be changed to Excel? I think, okay, I will answer this. Potentially, I will answer this in two ways. One is after you prepare, after you make changes in Tableau, you can export the data into Excel. That export to Excel, yeah. You can export the data into Excel, that you can do. But after creating a visualization, you can export the visualization as an image, and then you can use it in your PPTs. But you cannot directly make it linked to Excel. I know like you're not asking that. But yeah, you can export the data into Excel after you do the changes in Tableau, and you can export the visualization also. In what I mean is like charts into an image file or a PDF file that can be used for further circulation. Okay. Okay. Uh, Let me also take my break. So if we update the graph in Tableau, will get updated automatically in PPT. No, Shafiq, that's not that won't happen. Uh, what you will export out into a image or a PDF as it states, right? It would be a snapshot of it. It wouldn't be automatically in PPT. Ali, sure. Will come at 10:30. Okay. Guys, I will also take a short break. We will meet at 10:30 and we will start into the Tableau. Okay. Uh, Guys, it's the same Zoom link. So anyone who gets disconnected from the call, you can use the same link. Hi guys. Um, okay, I can see the count is much lower than what we were before the break. Let's give them a couple of minutes to join, and then we will get started with the second half. Meanwhile, guys, anyone who's having any questions, please, you can keep dropping in. Not only related to Tableau as a tool, but then how would it would help you in the career? Is it relevant? Any kind of questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. Can the visualization be dynamic when we connect Tableau to databases where the data flows continuously? Yes, it will be dynamic. I'm an MBA finance graduate working into shared services. Would this course really help me in career growth and better opportunities? Yes, because so not only in finance, in any business functions that has something to do with the data, right? There exactly Tableau skills are being majorly used. For example, operations finance, it is very, very common to use Tableau. So if you're in finance or if you're in operations, it's critical. Like I wouldn't say critical, but if you wanted to like do a leap in your career, a jump start, then Tableau can really play a very good role. Okay, uh, let's get started now. What we will look into is, and we will see how we can get started with Tableau. Okay, just a second. Apart from visualization, can we prepare reports like in Excel? Uh, you can you cannot create reports like Excel. What you can do is, apart from the visualization, if you just wanted to show the data in a form of a tabular way, you can still do it in Tableau. Uh, but when you say report, I'm just trying to like relate it. You can, I mean, the purpose of a report in Tableau in Excel is always to just show the user a data in a tabular format, right? You can do the same thing in Tableau also, but when you have eye-catching visualization, why to do it, right? That's also something you can think about. So let's set up the Tableau desktop. So I'm going to like send you this link, and I will quickly walk through what to do, and then you can You can repeat it while you are seeing the recorded session. Okay, but have this handy. Are there any options to automate the data? Yes. So basically, right, think about what you do in Excel. VLOOKUPs, formulas, refreshing the formulas, refreshing the VLOOKUPs. When you do any changes in the data, you need to like go back and see exactly what it is. All those things can be automated in Tableau. Okay. Okay. Uh, hold on to your questions because I'm just going to minimize my chat window. After this working session, we will again open it up so we can ask the you can ask the questions and I can help you guys out. Okay. So this is the Tableau public download link. Once you click on this, okay, 1 second, let me minimize it. Once you click on this, right, this would open up. All you need to do is click on the email address, enter your email address and download the app. If you guys don't have Tableau public already installed in your system, so what you see here, what I was using to showcase this is a Tableau public. So if you don't have this tool installed, all you need to do is give your personal email ID or official email ID, whichever you choose, and then download the app. Once you do this, the desktop would be downloaded. After you download, what I would recommend you to do is go to sign up here. Click on sign up, enter your details, and create an Tableau public account for yourself. Okay, I will tell you the reason why you need to do this. So I'm just repeating it again. Unable to hear you. Oh, guys, you're able to hear me or everyone is facing audio issues? Guys, can you hear me? Able to hear. Okay, I think something on your side, the person who pinged me about audio issue, something on your side, probably check your audio. Dhanashri, probably check your audio or try reconnecting Dhanashri. Okay. Okay, let's get going. Anyways, if someone has any audio issues or if there is some interruption, please do not worry. The recording would be shared and you can see this again. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to repeat what I said again. You have to submit on that link, click on that link, enter your email ID, download your Tableau public desktop. Once you do that, you have to go to sign up, enter your detail and get yourself an account for Tableau public. The reason you need to do both these things is when you download this app, you would be able to get this tool which we used and create visualization. But after creating the visualization, you need a platform for that, for the visualization to be published, right? So that platform you will get only if you sign up here, right? So do both the things, download the app and also sign up. Okay. Now, next, what you would be doing is, let me show it in the minimum window itself so that it's easy for us to navigate. So after downloading it, install it, and then multiple versions of the product can coexist. So what I mean to say is, if you have already, if you already have a Tableau desktop from your organization, and if you still wanted to install Tableau public, you can do. And similarly, in Tableau public, there are different versions: 2020.1, 2, 3. You can have all these different versions installed on the same system. So there can be multiple versions you can install on your system. Then create a Tableau public profile. All you need to do is just sign up and create this profile like what I said. And you can download the global superstore data from the following link. So I've given the link for the data that I would be using in my visualization. I would be using a very similar data. So if you wanted to use this data, you can do the same thing. Okay. Now let's create our first visualization. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me close this. I'm just opening my Tableau version. Please share the data. Okay, 1 second. You stopped at why to create a Tableau public. I completed it. Okay, anyways, I will repeat it again. So why we should create a Tableau public profile is, once you create, let me show you. This is a public edition, right? Once you download it and when you open it, and let's say I connect to the data, quickly to show you an example. So when I connect to a data and when I do something like this, if you go to file, there would be no option for you to save. There is no option to save to your local file because that's the limitation of the free version of Tableau. So what you need to do is you need to save to Tableau public, which is the server. So when I click on Tableau public, it will ask for a workbook name. I can save the Tableau's, the workbook which I'm creating here, into the public domain of Tableau, and then I can access it back from there. So for you to have this, you need to create the Tableau public account. Okay, hope that's clear. Okay, let's close this. Now let's create a visualization. Okay, just clearing. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is how your Tableau front end looks like. If you look at this, what you can see is you can see options to connect, right? And if you notice this, what I'm trying to show you guys is a professional version of Tableau. The reason is I wanted to show you guys the list of servers that Tableau can connect. But in a public version, the only difference is, let me show you. In a public version, you can see to a server option is just two. A public version does not allow you to connect to different data sources, especially the servers. Okay, so the purpose of the public version is to give you a free tool that can be used to learn. So with public version, you can access the data in Excel and you can learn the tool. Connection to server can be configured in professional versions. Okay, so let me show you what you can expect in a professional version. So in a professional version, what you can expect is it would be it would be exactly same to the public version, except that the number of data connections which is here. So if you look at here, there will be an option to connect. You can connect to different files. You can connect to different servers. In this case, what I wanted to do is I wanted to connect. Uh, I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt, guys. The public version is different than data visualization. Ali, I'm not understanding that question pretty well. But then, Ali, what I would recommend is just wait for us to like complete this hands-on. I will give time for questions. So if during that time, if you can ask, we can address that. Just to go with the flow. Okay. Okay, so let's go to Excel and you can connect to a public source in, you can connect to the Superstore sales data, which you guys would be downloading. So in my case, since this is a version or the Superstore data or the sample data is already there as a saved data source. So I'm just selecting on this. So once I select on this, data would be automatically loaded. Okay, so this is a this is a professional version. If Probably if you guys wanted to understand a little more, I will just connect everything from the beginning. So I'm opening a public version here. Okay, I will do connect to Excel, right? And then I'll just go in here. Just give me 1 second. The reason I was like not doing that is because the data was different. Huh? So global superstore, this would be the data that you guys would have downloaded. So double click on this, and then you would be able to see the data that is coming out, right? I wanted to analyze. So these are the different sheets that is inside that particular workbook. Inside global superstore workbook, these are the different sheets. So you could see the connection name here, which is the global superstore, and the name of the name of the connection, which is the Excel connection, and you could see the sheets. So I wanted to understand on the orders. I will double click on orders, and you can see the table is added, and you can see a sample of the data, right? So if you just take a deeper look at this, you can see options to filter. So these are called data source filters. So you can add a filter here itself, and you can filter out data at this point, right? I'm not going to do this for now. And other than this, what you can see here, at each column, you can see a symbol here. So these symbols are nothing but data types. So the hash symbol represents numeric data type. If I just click on this, you'll be able to see the different data types, and you can see the data type which is assigned to this particular column. Okay, and if you just click at this, you can see it's a string. You can click on this and you can see a date, right? Similarly, you can click on this globe symbol and you can see it's a string, but it has a geographical role assigned to it as city. Okay, so these are different geographical roles. I'm just giving you guys an overview of it because it's the purpose of this is like to give you an understanding of what exactly you can do with Tableau as a first visualization. But then when we go into the actual training, which is a more comprehensive course, we will understand a lot of things on why this is appearing in this way, what changes you can do, and things that you need to understand from a certification perspective. Right? From a certification perspective, there are a lot of things you need to understand from this particular UI. We are not going into that given the time constraint. What we would be doing is we would be understanding how to create a first visualization from a practical perspective. Okay, so this is, you can change the data type like row ID, right? Row ID is a number, but we don't need this as a numeric. So I can change it as a string if I want, and you can see the data is getting loaded and it changes into a string. So change of data types can be done here. This is the data preparation page, and then I will go to sheet. So while we go to sheet, if you look at this, there are three different icons here, right? One is, if you hover over it, you'll be able to see new worksheet. If you hover over the second icon, you would be able to see new desktop. If you hover over the third icon, you can see new story, right? So worksheets are what we have opened. Worksheets are place where we can create individual visualizations, and dashboards is a place where you can consolidate all the visualizations you have created in different worksheets. Okay, storyboard can have worksheets and dashboards in a way you would like to tell a particular story of a data. Okay, so what we would be doing in this session is we would be creating some visualizations using worksheets, and then we would be creating a new dashboard. Okay, that's what we are going to do in this particular session. So let's do this. So let's say we okay, I'm sorry, let's understand this data UI page first. So if you look at this, this is the place where you would be creating your visualization. This is where the graph is going to appear. You can see columns, rows, pages, filters, marks, etc. These are called shelves and these are called cards. Okay, so these are basically the technical names of it. You will get used to it once you start using the tool. If you just right click on this, you can see column shelf, row shelf, pages shelf, filter shelf. So all these things are shelf, and what you call this here, marks, this is called cards. Okay, these are very important when you're preparing for Tableau certification because the questions will be phrased in this way. Okay, so now let's say I wanted to create a very basic visualization. So for me to create a visualization, what is very important is to understand the nature of the fields. What is the nature of the field? So if you look at the right corner of the tool, you would be able to see all the fields listed out. So these are all the fields that is out there in our particular Excel. If you just look at it, you see the field name, you see the type of data type, and then what also you see is you see a line. What is this line? Okay, this line is nothing but it says the fields which is above this line are called dimensions, and the fields that is below these lines are called measures. Now in the actual training we will be going in depth into what dimensions and measures are, but just for an understanding perspective, understand that dimensions are nothing but categorical variables, right? Like size of a t-shirt, category, product category, all these things are called dimensions. Dimensions are nothing but it are categorical variables that can slice and dice your data. Measures, which is down here, these are all numbers, facts. So these are things that can be aggregated, totaled, summed, subtracted, multiplied, right? But dimensions cannot be subtracted, multiplied. If I if my t-shirt size is like 36 and the previous size of the t-shirt is 34, 36 minus 34 t-shirt size 2 doesn't make sense, right? So that's called dimensions. Okay, okay. So okay, now let's say I wanted to create a very basic visualization. Let's say I wanted to double click on category. These are furnitures, office supplies, category technologies. There are two ways you can bring in data into this particular canvas. One is when you do a double click, you can see, okay, one second, you can see data appearing here. Or what you can do is you can drag and drop it manually, either here or here. Based on how you drag and drop, your data would be appearing appropriately. Okay, if I put it in rows, it's in rows. If I put it in columns, it appears as a column. Okay, now what I wanted to do is I wanted to see the sales amount. I will double click on sales, and you can see sales is automatically added to the text field, right? So what typically happens is whenever you double click on a particular field in Tableau tries to show you the optimized visualization for that particular field, but it doesn't mean like you will have to stick to this particular field. So right now Tableau has suggested me, based on the fields that I have done, that you're looking for a text file, a tabular format, but I don't want to see it in a tabular format, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to show me. I'm going to click on a pie chart. So you can see that the visualization is changed into a pie chart. Now you can go here. You will see size of the visualization of the chart that is appearing here. You can just click on it and you can make it as an entire view, right? I can double click on this title and give something like category wise sales, right? And then I don't want all these contrast colors. Like in a professional environment, it's always better to use subtle colors. So what I will do is, this is the legend that we have. I'll just click on this. I'll say edit color, right? I will choose this color palette and I'll just choose blue and I will say assign palette. Now, all the different categories are represented by different shades of blue. So I'll just click OK. Okay. Again, from your perspective, you could think like this color is not something that you want. That's totally up to you. I'm usually a very subtle person who loves subtle colors, so I've chosen this one. Okay. Now we can add labels to it. How we can do it? If you can see in the marks, we would be able to see label, size, colors, details, tooltips, angles. You can just click on label. You can click on show mark label and you would be able to see the numbers that is appearing. But we want this number in a more readable format, right? Either in a million or in thousands. So in order to do that, what we can do is select on the field like sum of sales, click on format. You would be seeing the format button that's opening. Go to pane, select on numbers, click on number, and then I don't want decimal. Let's change the display unit to millions. Probably one decimal. That's it. Okay. Now we have a neat graph which has data label as well as which have a graphical representation of what we wanted to see. Right. Now, let's say let's see how the size works. So you can increase the size as you want, decrease the size as you want. That's totally up to you. And then color, right? You can edit color. It will open the same thing which we saw in the previous category. You can change colors here, right? And then the other thing is you can check the opacity. You can reduce the opacity, you can increase the opacity, you can do all these things here. You can add a border if you want, like I wanted to add a black border, you can do so, or you can just say none. Okay. So these things which you have also contributes to the same way. So the other thing is like based on the chart which you choose, the marks category what you have, the mark styles which you have also will change. If you see right now we are having a pie chart, that's why you are seeing the angle here. If we use a different chart, you won't see this. So it's dynamic based on the chart type we choose. So now we have created a pie chart. Let's name this as pie. I'm just double clicking, naming this as pie. Okay. So if I want, I can add additional data label, like say, I want to show the category name also here. All you need to do is drag the category, drop it into your label. You're seeing this again, and let's again bring the value, press Control, drag the sales and drop it into tables. Now you can see both the category as well as the sum of sales numbers in the data label, right? Simple drag and drops. So now let's create a map. Okay, let's create a map of country. Double click on it. Notice what is happening. When you double click on a country, you can see Tableau automatically populates the latitude and longitude of those country locations, right? So whenever you see this globe symbol against a particular field name, this globe symbol means this particular field is coded as a geographical field. So what it means to be coded as a geographical field is when Tableau codes that as a geographical field, Tableau automatically generates two different fields, latitude and longitude, and it shows automatically the country's location. Okay, now let's see how we can change this. Instead of, let's go to the mark, it says automatic, click on it and just change it to map. Right now we can see color that is applied to the entire map. What I wanted to show is the profit of different countries. So let's drag the profit and drop it into color. When we do this, what we are able to see, the lowest profit, meaning the loss, highest loss to the highest profit, is represented as orange to blue. So we can change this color. So let's say edit color, loss to profit. Let's say we wanted to show it as red to green, right? Red, green diverging, and click on OK. So now it says red color for loss and darker green for more profit. Okay, neat and simple, right? So you can add in data labels like what we did previously. You can just drag the country name and drop it into labels. You can see the country names that is appearing. Similarly, you can bring in the numbers as well. Okay, let's say this is map. Let's see how we can create a line chart using your date variable. So if you see here, you can see calendar symbol here and order date, which represents this as a date. Let's see what happens if we double click it. If I double click it, you can see it is directly showing me a year and it is showing a plus symbol. So this plus symbol was not something that is appearing in the previous field which we selected. So if you go to the pie, right, none of it has plus symbol, right? So the benefit of this plus symbol is if you just click on it, you would be able to see the data is aggregated and hierarchically arranged: year, quarter, if you click again, month, if you click again, day. So it is clustered one below the other, right? Now let's clear this. If you just click on this symbol, clear sheet, it will clear everything. Let's do that again. Double click an order date. Now, when it comes to a trend, I don't want a trend based on year. Let's say I want on quarter. So instead of clicking that, what I will do is I will select on here and I will say quarter. Okay. Now, I want to see the quarter wise sales trend. So I'll just select on sales, double click, and you would be able to see a line. So why Tableau is showing a line graph automatically when I'm selecting the date graph? Because trend analysis or any kind of analysis that needs to be do with trend, date field is essential. So once you have date field selected, Tableau automatically recommends the most used visualization for a date trend. You can anyways, you don't have to stick to it. You can just go to measure here. You can change it to bar, or you can change it into area, or you can change it into anything you want, right? I think these two are the most relevant things. You can change it into anything you want. You can do that from there, you can do that from here, or in whichever way you want. Okay, so this is how a line graph is created. Now what I wanted to show is this shows the total amount of sales, but I wanted to also understand category wise sales, right? So okay, so what I'm going to do is bring in the category, drag, drop it into colors. You can see the data is showing a split of, so once we bring the category, it's showing the splits of the sales, right? So this is a line trend. Okay, there is one question in the chat window which probably would be useful for everyone as well. Is it possible for a combo? So when you ask about combo, I think you are meaning a dual axis graph. So let me quickly show you guys how a dual axis graph can be created. So let's say the same example, right? Order date. Okay, let me, instead of creating new, I will just right click, duplicate. Let's remove the colors. And let's say these are the total numbers, right? And these are the sum of sales. Let's say I wanted to show the sum of profit as well. When I double click this profit, what actually happens is you would be able to see sales at the top, profit at the bottom, right? So let's say, and also what you can notice is once you added the profit here, you can see the marks has stacked values, right? All is there, sum of sales, sum of profit. What this enables you to do is you can change the visualization for each of these fields. Let's say sales is fine. I just wanted the profit to be a bar graph. Okay. And I wanted to make this as a dual axis instead of one below the other. What I will do is click here, change it into a dual axis, right? So what this gives you a neat profit, and this also gives you the sales numbers. You can right click here, you can say synchronize axis, which doesn't make sense because if these two axes are synchronized, obviously your profit is going to be much, much lesser than your sales. But anyways, you get the idea, right? So this is how you do it. Hope that answers your question, Shafiq. Okay, so now let me move on with our visualization. Okay, now what we have done a line, we have done a map, we have done a pie chart. Now let's create a simple horizontal bar graph. Let's take subcategory, double click on subcategory, and double click on sales. Let's go to show me, click. You can see some of the graphs are blurred out because for this particular field selection, those graphs are not eligible. When you hover over the graph, you can see the note below. For a Gantt view, you need one data, one or more dimensions, or 0 to 2 measures. So you can also see a red circled view which says the recommended one, right? So just click on this and change this view to entire view, right? You can sort it. There are sort symbols here. You can just click descending to ascending. And let's say I wanted to show a split here. Let's bring in the category, drag, drop it into colors. And click on labels as usual, show the mark labels. You can format it, click here, click on the field, go to format, select the numbers, and show it in millions, right? All these things are just in few clicks, right? So let's name this as a bar graph. Now, I just wanted to show you guys an interesting chart which would help you to understand the relationship between two different measures or two different numbers. So let's say I select sales and profit, and then I wanted to understand this as a depth of customer name. I just bring customer name into detail. What you can see here is this graph has plotted all the customer IDs and their profit and sales amount. So if you just hover over this particular number, it's a customer named Sean Miller, and his profit is actually in a loss, which is minus $410, and his sales is 35,171. Correct? So the reason it is like showing as an outlier because this guy has huge amount of sales, but still there is loss, right? And you can see a lot of these customers represented. So what we can do here is this gives a neat relationship in terms of what you need to focus. Let's say you wanted to understand who is your most valued customer. So these are your sales. This is your profit. So how do you understand who are your most valued customer? My most valued customer is someone who has highest sales as well as who gives me a maximum profit. So highest sales and maximum profit. So this is the area where you can select this. This is the area which has your high valued customers. If you look at here, sales is 37,457 and the profit is also equally high, right? So there are ways you can just select this and analyze data based on this data, this alone. You can just hover over it, or you can select it, and you can create sets and groups of this particular customers. Let's not go into that. Um, it's a little more advanced than what we are intending to do here, but you get the point, right? So this is a visualization, and you can add flavors to it. You can drag the country into colors. You can see color representing different countries, and you can just name it as a relationship graph. Okay, 1 second, I see someone has raised his hand. What are the difference between Tableau public? So, okay, guys, I'm going to reserve all the questions for now. Give me some more time. Let's finish this off, and I will open it for questioning and address all those things. So now all the visualizations are developed. So for you to present this to your user, you need to put this into a proper dashboard. So what I'm going to do is, let's create a dashboard. Let's select on the dashboard. Okay. And then let's give it a size. Let's say width is 1000 or a little more. Okay. Now, what the ways to bring your sheets into the dashboard is by dragging and dropping. If you just look at this, this is your dashboard window, right? You can see the size parameter here. You can see the sheets that you have developed. You can see objects that will help you to create create the dashboard, and few other things. Let's add a dashboard title. Let's say sales dashboard. Okay. Let's bring in the map first. Drag and drop it here. I don't want this. Let's bring in pie chart. If you drag and drop, you can see the gray area highlighting where you wanted to drop it, right? Let's drop it here. You can remove this, or you can have it. It's totally your choice. I'm just removing it because of the space constraint. Then you can bring in the bar chart right to the bottom. Okay. All drag and drops. Trend again to the bottom, right? And then even the relationship, I can just bring it to the bottom, right? After we, oh, I'm sorry, 1 second. After we do this, we can drag and adjust the size of it. We can rename and give a relevant name like line trend of sales, right? Subcategory sales, relationship, and so on. So it's totally up to your control. You can give more space to the graph map and less space for the pie chart because it doesn't require much pie chart. Okay, and you can also create this as a filter. All you need to do is select here, use as filter. Notice what is happening. If I click on Russia, you can see all the graph showing numbers for Russia. If I click on India, you can see numbers for India. So based on what I select, you can see the number changes automatically. So these are interactive ready-made features that's available in Tableau. I can just take off the filter by clicking on this, don't use as a filter, right? So once you developed this, as I said, you won't be able to save it in your local desktop. So I need to save it to the Tableau public. So what I will do is Tableau public save, give a name like this is test workshop, and save. I have already signed into my Tableau public, so you can see that it is directly publishing it. In your case, if you are not signed it into your Tableau public, it will just ask you for the username and password for your Tableau public profile once you create it here. So it's coming up, the visualization which we have published. That's it. So I know the visualization is a little shrinked because I just published it for testing perspective, but you can increase the height of it, you can increase the width of it based on however you wanted it. Okay. Now, I hope this had given you an end-to-end understanding of what exactly we are, how exactly your first visualization can be made. Okay. Now, let me quickly tell you like how to access this. So see, I'm going to give you the link of this workbook which I published. Okay, let me put it in the chat window. So anyone who wants to see the workbook which we just created, you can see it in this particular link. I think it will be a better version of it because I had more time. Let me show you the actual version. This is a test which we created really quick. I'm just going to delete it for now because anyways I've given a different version for you guys. So this would be the version which you guys would be seeing. It's the same thing, but I would have formatted it a little more and beautified it a little more, right? If you just look at it, this is exactly what we created, and this is exactly what you can access. So you can use that link, you can access this workbook and refer back, download and understand how exactly we did it and recreate it. Okay, now let's go to the presentation. The dashboard link I've shared, and it will be also shared in the PPT. So feel free to rework what we just did in this class as a workshop. The session recording also would be shared to you. I think Divya on the call, she would make sure like you get the session recording. Okay. Now let me open it up for questions. Okay, I saw a few questions previously. Let me answer those. Meanwhile, anyone who has questions in this, please drop it into the chat window and let's discuss this. After discussing it through, we will move on to the Tableau certification requirements and what you need to do for developing for a certification. Okay. Galaxy M30s, I'm not sure who this is, top 5. You can do top 5 using the filters. It's pretty much easier. I did not cover this given the by sets. Yeah, you can do it in sets as well. Sets and filters are basically easy, basically similar. You can just make a set, drop it into your filter, go to top and then create it. I'm sorry I did not do this in the call because of the time constraints, but probably in the next elaborate calls I will do that if you guys are like interested in the training. Okay. But I'm not sure what the person's name is, but it is pretty simple. So just like the filter, you just need to create sets, drag and drop it into the filters shelf, and then if you open it, you will see different tabs. At the right corner you will have a tab called top. Okay, fine, got it. Top 5, what are the difference between Tableau public software and Tableau 2020? It's just the cost. From a feature perspective, as I told you, Tableau public is it's just focused for you guys to learn. So you will have limited data source connectivity, you will have limited rows, you will have limitations in certain things, but that shouldn't stop you from learning the tool or getting certified. Okay, I think combo chart we have just created. Shafiq, hope that is what you asked for. Could you please share the export to Excel view? Advice if we could work with Google Sheets in the same view way we created now. Okay, so what would be different is when you go here, when you connect to the new data source, you would be doing this based on Google Sheets. So typically, I'm not doing it here, but then when you click on a Google Sheets, it will ask you to enter into your Gmail credentials, and then once you enter your credentials, you should be able to access your Google Sheet, right? So you can connect it in this way. Could you please share the export to Excel view? So export to Excel usually works in this way, but we need to check. You cannot directly export it into a Google Sheet. I don't think that's feasible. All you need to do to export it to Excel is click on this, go to view data, full data, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. So export to Excel is available in your professional version. So here you won't be able to do that. Okay, let me quickly show you. I know you've asked this question a couple of times. So let me show it in the other option real quick. Okay, let's say customer name, let's say region, let's say top customer, something like this, right? So when I click on this, you can go to this view detail, go to full data, and you can export all. Export all, it will get downloaded into a CSV file, and you can convert into Excel. Okay. Hope that clears your question. In dual axis, when there is an overlap of line graph and bar graph, is there a way to bring the line to the front to make it more visible? Yes, yes. All those customizations is available. You can do that. Can we refresh the data and graphs with update automatically? Instead of preparing the whole graph every time. You don't need to prepare the whole graph every time, Shafiq. So once the data is loaded and once the dashboard is created, it's pretty automatic. You can just um, right click, go to extract data or go to refresh, and you can just refresh the data and it should happen. Ali, thank you very much. Thanks, Ali. Hold on. We just have some more time to look into the Tableau certification. Also, I would recommend you guys to wait and look for it. Hi, sir. Joined 10 minutes back as power cut. If possible, can recording link can be shared? Sai, recording link would be shared to you, to everyone. So we did do a lot of coverage into the session. So watch through the recording, try to replicate whatever we created, and then you should be okay. Okay. So if that is all the questions, let's jump into the next content. Okay. The next content I would like to touch base is on the Tableau certification, which is pretty important. The reason I'm saying this is pretty important is once you had the enterprise experience into Tableau, and once you have worked through Tableau in an organization, delivered stuff, if you ask certification or skills, then probably skills is what you need to get into a job. But when you're using Tableau, when you're starting Tableau fresh, when you haven't had the chance to develop dashboards and publish it into your enterprise service, at that point, Tableau certification is going to add a lot of weightage when you're looking for a job change, right? So Tableau certification, let me go to the Tableau website itself so that you will have more relevant data. Let's close all these things. So when it comes to Tableau certification, there are three types of certificates with respect to Tableau desktop, right? And there are two certifications for Tableau server, right? I think from an analyst perspective, most of us would be interested in the desktop version. And from an admin perspective, some might be interested in the server. So this training course is totally focused on the desktop. Okay. So in desktop, there are three different certificates: desktop specialist, desktop certified, and desktop certified professional. So this is $100, this is $250, and I think this is pretty costly, $600+. Okay. So when you go to desktop specialist, if you scroll down, you would be able to see the details about it, right?
this validity of the certification does not end. There is no expiration date. But I think certificate associate, it's 2 years validity, and certified professional is 3 years validity. So it's pretty costly. I think like you, it's but it's. I would recommend taking this certification first because it doesn't have any expiration date, and you can take this certification, which is 2 year validity, whenever you are looking for a job change, right? So that would be my strategy. If you look at the desktop and if you go to the exam preparation guide, you can come scroll down and you can see skills are measured based on these topics: connecting to and preparing data, exploring and analyzing data, sharing insights. So these are topics on what you would be tested, and there are a certain set of skills that you would be measured upon, right? And similarly, for the desktop certified associate as well, you can see a different depth of content that shows based on data connections, calculations, mapping, field and chart types, etc. So what I've done for the training course which I've planned is, I have, see, these are topics, right? If I'm covering based on topics, first thing is it won't be interesting, one, and the second thing is you won't have a continuity or a date flow. So what I've done is I've separated it into stages. So in the first stage, what I've done is all the training content required for you to learn, I've segregated into stages and I've attached those particular topics into these stages. So you will have the continuity and you will have the flow in this. So in the stage one, we would be creating our first visualization in a little more in-depth fashion. After this, we would be developing, we would be understanding Tableau components in detail. After that, we would be covering dashboards in detail. Then we would be looking into maps and data organizations. Then we would understand basic to advanced charts and fields, and we will be looking into calculations, advanced calculations and concepts. Finally, before the actual training course ends, we will go through Tableau certification practice questions along with solutions. So in a typical Tableau exam, it's a 1 hour exam and you would have 30 questions. The pass mark that is required is 70 percentage at least. So we will at least go through three such tests, 2 to 3 tests with 30 questions each, and we will try to see how exactly things will work out in Tableau certification exam, right? In order for you guys to prepare for Tableau certification. Other than this, what exactly we would be creating in the actual training? Let me show a sample of what we would be creating. So this is my Tableau public profile. So what I've done here is, in most of the training and in most of the free time, whatever I've developed, I've just published it here. So what you see here are dashboards and charts which we would be creating, right? This is a span of both basic and advanced charts. You can see dumbbell barbell charts here, bar and bar, lollipop charts, donut charts. You can see an animated sales dashboard. Let me quickly show you how it looks. This is an advanced Tableau dashboard which shows the data in motion, right? So let me go here, let me show it in a full screen. If I click on this arrow, it might be pretty slow, but then it gives the data for different time frame in a single view. So if you see, the data is moving based on one particular quarter's value, right? It's showing, I think it's showing from 2011 or 12 to 2015. Okay, this is an animated motion chart which I've developed. So what we would be covering in the training is things that would enable you to understand how to create this and what are some of the different advanced charts that's out there in the that is used out there in the market. Okay, so that is what we would be doing in the actual training session. Other than this, I just wanted to give why trained in Excelytics, because like we are kind of like experienced professionals who just wanted to share what we have learned so far. So we basically teach what we do in organizations. It's not going to be just understanding the tool. It is going to be a real-time experience of what exactly you can expect in your organizations. Then, as far as I hope this course was interesting and not boring, and similarly, all the trainings also will be interesting. And then we'll have a lot of real-time projects, and we have got really good feedbacks for the previous courses. You can check it with Excelytics. So that is why we recommend Excelytics, right? So other than that, I think irrespective of what you guys choose to do, whether you choose to enroll in the in the course or not, stay in touch. Excelytics has its own YouTube channel. It has its LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and I'm available on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. I shared the contact details in the previous chat window. Let me do that again. Get connected, subscribe to our channels, and stay in touch. So anything with respect to knowledge, we will keep sharing, and it would be useful to you guys as well who wanted to learn and get yourself established in the analytics domain. Okay. So these are the contacts details. These are the contact details of Excelytics. You can make a note of it, or you can, I've just put it in the chat window as well. So you can reach out to them for the training related stuff. So before we close it, I am just opening it up for questions. If you guys have any questions about anything, you can just ask. Project's duration. Ali, if you mean the training duration, I think it's 5 weeks. It's basically 5 weeks training, Ali. Okay. Okay. Any question? Shafiq, training starts from when? I think it's based on uh, everyone's commitment. So Divya would be a better person to answer this. Divya, can you reach out to Shafiq um, and help him out? How much fee for Tableau class? Kranti, I think that also. Divya, can you help? Fee. Uh, Divya, please help Galaxy M30s. I'm not sure what the person's name is. About duration and fees, you will get an email. Okay, guys, you would be getting an email. Okay, so other than that, any questions in this session, you can ask now. I can help you guys out. Or if you guys want additional help, you can reach out to my LinkedIn in terms of any personal career related questions, advices you guys want. I'm happy to help with what I already know. And if you are looking for training contents, you can get yourself subscribed to Excelytics YouTube channel and my YouTube channel, which is out there. Okay. Anurag, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Any question anyone has, please drop it into the chat window. Thanks, team. Yeah, thank you. Please help to choose them at time of registration.